Hmm? What is the homework? Soumya,
So,
what is the homework I have given for you in the last class?
actually, we didn't do.
I didn't give any homework. Okay, just wait a minute. I think I have given some homework for you. In the previous class, also I have given the homework, formation of sprouts, that you didn't do.
So
Writing
that
the
was done earlier also.
That was done already.
That was done earlier only.
okay.
So you those who have not done, they have to complete that.
Yeah, this is the homework I have
Yes, sir,
given
I
for you.
already did.
For the people who didn't get the.
Disease.
Huh?
Disease homework I have given, right? Suppose typhoid is there. What is the cause of the typhoid? Yes or no?
Sir, what is that T?
Where it is? TTT?
Sir,
After various food.
Okay, okay. By mistakenly it has happened. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, I just wrote about one sentence about what is protozoa.
Sorry, Varshit.
Sir, I wrote a sentence about what is protozoa.
Yeah, you can tell. No issue at all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Just a little sentence, sir. Protozoa is an informal term for a group of single called eukaryotes, either free living or parasitic, that feed on organic matter such as other microorganisms or organic tissues and their bees. That's
Okay,
it.
good.
Just one sentence I wrote it.
Very good. So like that, each and every day you have to write one science quotation or the important fact.
Sir, but I did not write anything about curd.
Good evening, sir. Now only I joined, sir. What are you doing, sir?
Yeah,
Same, sir. Even I also joined right now.
yeah. Rishita is going good acting with the eyes and all. Rishita, are you listening the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from today onwards, when you're joining the class for the science class, there should be one fact about the science. With that, we'll start the class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you have to write down before starting of the class. Just it will
From
take
next
2 minutes,
class.
right? For you
Yes.
to write one fact. So each and every class will start with one fact. I will ask you that fact. What is that fact? Okay.
Sir, the microorganisms which are harmful are classified as protozoas, right, sir?
Yeah. One of the microorganisms is of protozoans. Fungi, bacteria.
Can I say you one file fact?
Yeah, Dvaika, always welcome.
Sir, I know one fact. Can I say?
Yeah, I said that's what. One by one,
Okay,
we'll
sir.
take hands.
So I know one. The satin density is so low that it can float in the water.
Sorry.
Sir, this satin density is so low that it can float in water.
Okay. Yeah, Dvaika.
Can I, sir?
Wait, wait.
In microbes, the yellow sticky layer is known as plaque. It's also known as germs, which after that it comes the germs.
Okay, okay.
So can I say?
Yeah, Vedant.
Sir, there is a planet called J140 J1, sir. It has 90 kilometers radius of rings, and it's 200 times the mass of Saturn.
Okay, good. So only few people are turned on the cam. Remaining cam is not on. So it is a standard instruction to turn on your cam throughout the class.
Sir, I will turn in a minute. Just I am setting the camera. It has a problem actually.
Okay, Karthik, good evening.
Yes, sir. I have network issue.
Next.
Sir,
Yeah, Karthik.
now it's fine, but if I on my camera, it lags a bit.
Okay, okay. What about Advaika?
Yes, sir.
Turn on your cam, no issues.
What, sir?
Turn on your camera. Yeah. So can you hear me properly, right? First, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll start with the class now. Various food components are classified into three classes. The first one is the energy giving foods, that is the carbohydrates and fats. The next one is the bodybuilding foods, that is the proteins. And the last one is the protective food, that is the vitamins and the minerals. Right? So when you take all these type of nutrients only, it is called as a balanced diet. Yes or no? Whenever you are taking the sufficient amount of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, the roughage, and the water. When you take all the required quantity or in the proper quantity to our body, then only it is called as a balanced diet. So these and all we'll study individually one by one. Okay, first we'll study about the energy giving foods. Yes or no? First, our body required the energy for proper functioning of the body. Right? Without energy, we cannot do anything, right?
Yes, sir.
If you don't eat the food for the 5 days, what will happen?
All right.
We'll feel very weak and we'll feel sick.
Tired.
Because without food, our body won't get the energy. If you don't get the energy, whatever the biochemical reactions are happening in our body will not take place. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first one is the carbohydrates. So when you are studying about the different types of nutrients, first we'll study what is that nutrient. Then we'll study the different source of the nutrients separately as the plant side and the animal sides. So first one is the carbohydrates. What is the carbohydrates? It is a energy giving food. So when you're taking the carbohydrates, it will convert into the glucose. What is it? Carbohydrates turns into the glucose mainly. So what is the main source of carbohydrates then? Rice. Especially the most common food is the rice, wheat, sorghum, peas, beans, sago rice. That is only we call it as a sabudana, sugarcane, sugar beet, and many fruits like banana, mango, melons, and vegetables.
Sir, even dal.
Dal also will be there, but most of the protein will be there in the dal.
Okay, sir.
Pulses, cereals will be there, right? Mostly will contain the proteins and the minerals. Carbohydrates are the energy giving foods, right? Both are different. Clear now?
Yes, sir.
Then, what are the important carbohydrates you are taking? What are the different forms of carbohydrates?
Sir, like milk.
Not banana, it's the cellulose,
Sir, is it milk?
Milk,
cellulose, starch, sucrose,
sugar.
glucose, and the fructose. These are the different types of carbohydrates
But
which
that's
we
one
can
point.
find in our body. Okay, now do you know the sugar which we'll use in the tea?
Yes, sir.
Yes? You know the sugar, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the sugar, the common name is the sucrose actually.
Sir, but no one calls it as
Okay,
sucrose, right?
whatever the sugar we are taking or we are using in our home, that one is the sucrose. Okay, and glucose already we studied in the first chapter itself.
Sugars really means sucrose.
Yeah, sucrose is the common sugar you are seeing in our kitchen, right?
Yes.
White sugar. That is a sucrose. And glucose,
Fructose.
you already know, right? Whenever the plant prepare the food with the help of photosynthesis process,
Yes.
okay, it will store the energy in the form of glucose, C6H12O6.
Sir, that glucose will be there, right? So we cannot take that glucose out of the plants.
That glucose is storing in the plants in the form of fruits, right? That fruits we are going to eat,
Okay, sir.
or that glucose will be stored in the form of other forms like roots, like potato, or any other form of flower. These
Okay,
things.
sir. Understood. Understood.
Yeah.
Sir,
Good. Yeah.
Yeah,
so how
Sorry.
how do plants get, like fruits get their colors, sir?
Good. They have the
So like
different pigments actually. If you take the
so but
plants,
they're for leaves, right, sir?
they have different types of pigments.
plants will have the different types of pigments. Suppose if you take the chlorophyll is in the green in color pigment. Okay, due to that only the plant leaves are green in color. Understanding, Vedant?
Sir, but it's for leaves, right? So how can it affect on the
Yeah, if you take the different fruits also, you'll have the different colors because of the pigment released by the plant.
okay, sir.
Okay, so these are the main plant source of the carbohydrates. Can you see the image here?
Yes, sir.
So I hope everyone has tasted all these things: potato, sugarcane, sweet potato, wheat, rice, bajra, maize, mango, watermelon. Yes or no? So when you're taking these foods, you'll get more amount of carbohydrates. That means our body mostly will get the energy with the help of these foods. Okay, is it
Okay,
clear?
sir.
Carbohydrates.
Yes, sir.
Next, wait a minute. Now, can you see here? Carbohydrates provides energy to our body, which keep it going throughout the day. So again, there are the how many types of carbohydrates are there?
Two types of
Two
two
types of
types.
carbohydrates are there.
Major two.
Sugar and starch.
What is it?
Sugar and starch.
Sugar and starch.
Sugar and the starch. Good. So sugar is not means what? It is the simplest form of the carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are the two types. One is the sugar, the other one is the starch.
Sir,
Yeah.
he is made up of cow only, no, sir?
Yeah. Ghee is made up of from the milk itself.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So sugars are the simplest carbohydrates. And starch is also called as an complex carbohydrates. Understanding the difference here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Then
sir.
what are the examples of simple carbohydrates here?
Fruits, honey, sugar, and some sources of sugar.
Good. Now, suppose if the person is fainted, what they will give immediately?
Glucose drip.
Glucose.
Glucose drip.
Or if
They
the person is
don't
feeling very weak, what they will do?
glucose drip. They'll give the glucose drip.
They will give the glucose, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
is glucose a starch or sugar?
Okay. So glucose is actually one form of the complex, simple only. Table sugar only, right? Sucrose and the
Yes,
glucose.
sir.
Okay. See here, these sugar, whatever the glucose or the sugar, which are the instant form of energy, which will give the energy to our body very quickly. Because these are the simple carbohydrates which will convert into the energy very easily. Understanding? So complex carbohydrates first will convert into the simple carbohydrates. Then simple carbohydrates will break into the again simpler substance to provide the energy. But
Okay, sir. Got it.
when you are feeling very weak, if you want energy instant, no?
Sir, they will give ORS or glucose.
Yeah, which one you have to take? Either simple carbohydrates you have to take or complex carbohydrates you have to take
Simple carbohydrate.
Sir,
for the
simple, sir.
instant
Full
energy.
carbohydrate.
Sir, if it is like 2 weeks and you're vomiting, then if you are admitted in the hospital, they will give you the complex one, sir.
Yeah. So for the instant energy, you have to always take the simple carbohydrates.
So,
Yeah.
what's the exact meaning of carbohydrate?
Carbohydrates are the nutrients which will give energy to our body. Okay. So we have the different nutrients in our food. So carbohydrates is one among the nutrients. Okay, Advaika? So when you want the instant form of energy, you have to take it simple carbohydrates only. Okay, examples are honey, fruits, and the table sugar. Table sugar is nothing but the common sugar which are using in our homes. Fine. Next, complex carbohydrates. What are the complex carbohydrates? This is the starch, or the rice, or the wheat, or the corn,
Corn,
potato,
bread.
bread. This will also provide the energy, but it will take some times to provide the energy.
Sir, it is also problem, sir. If we will get very fastly energy also.
Sometimes you require the energy very fast, right? Yes or no? Suppose you are doing the fasting
Yes, sir.
continuously for long time. Our body is completely drained of energy. At that time, we require the energy immediately, right? So in that cases, what we'll do?
Sir.
Instead of fainting, we'll go and eat the sugar or the honey. We'll drink some honey. We'll get the instant energy and we'll feel relaxed. Yes or no?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose you're eating the rice. The rice will not break down into simpler substance easily, right? It will take some time.
Yeah, sir. It would like
Either it will take 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half
before
an hour
we
or 1
boil
hour.
it, it would be like so hard to break it. But after we boil it and get it into its simpler form, it's too easy to break.
Yeah. So whatever the complex carbohydrates are there, it will also give the energy, but it will take some time. These are the not instant source of energy. Clear?
Yeah, sir.
The starch is good, sir.
Yeah, whatever the plants are there, right? It will store the energy in the form of either starch or the glucose.
Okay, so sir, starch is good for the body. Like if we eat, if sometimes it comes.
Yeah.
Well,
But it is a complex carbohydrate, right? It will take
yes,
some
sir.
time for the digestion purpose. That's all the difference.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So in the case of complex carbohydrates, we require the digestion of the food to break into the simpler substance again. Now simpler substance will provide the energy. But when you consume directly the simpler substance now,
Yes, sir.
it will give direct energy, right? We don't want digestion and all.
Okay, sir. Means it will take some time to digest that, sir.
Yeah. Now you understand?
Yes.
Still any doubts? Anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir, no doubt.
So if someone asks you what are the carbohydrates, what you will give the reply?
Sir, they are energy giving foods which give energy to the body.
These are the energy giving food.
Which gives us energy.
And the carbohydrates are two types. One is the simpler carbohydrates,
And complex carbohydrates.
complex carbohydrates. Simpler
Sugar
means what?
is a simple carbohydrate and starch is a complex carbohydrate.
Very good. So simpler carbohydrates means what? These are the instant source of energy. right? Examples
Yes,
are the
sir.
fruits, honey, table sugar, glucose. Okay, obviously glucose is also one of the complex carbohydrate only. It will take digestion process to break into simpler again. Now starch. Starch is a complex carbohydrates. Okay. Now one important thing is plant will store the energy in the form of starch,
Yes, sir.
right? Animals will store the energy in the form of
Sugar?
not sugars. It is a glycogen.
So what is that?
Now plants are storing the energy or the food in the form of starch, right?
Yes, sir.
Now animals will store the energy or the food in the form of glycogen.
Okay. Okay.
Glycogen. That we'll discuss in the next chapter. Okay. Don't worry. Hurry, clear.
Sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine. Now you can see the different image here. Nuts and the butter are also good source of fats. Just wait a minute. That's all about the carbohydrates. Any doubts in this?
Cheese and oil are also like.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
Ramya?
Sir, cheese and oil are also energy giving food like substance.
Yeah,
With
cheese has the fats, right? One type of fat.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, Advaika.
But if here are mentioned some fruits, but the fruits come under the vitamins and minerals, right?
Yeah, fruits also will come under the vitamins and minerals. Suppose if
Some
you take
things
one
come in
particular food,
carbohydrate also.
yeah, if you take one particular food, it may contain 2 or more nutrients also. Okay, suppose you have taken the example like milk. It will contain the proteins, it will contain the vitamins, it will contain the minerals also. Understanding?
So we can also say that
Fruits will contain
Almost all the things, sir. Fats, carbohydrates also.
these,
Yeah.
papaya, mango will contain vitamins also, but some carbohydrates also will contain.
Understanding? It's not like only one food will contain one nutrients. It may contain multiple nutrients also in some foods. And it's not
sir,
some
we can also
foods.
say that
Most of the foods
carbohydrates.
will contain the multiple nutrients.
We can also say that carbohydrates provide the quick energy, and fats store our energy for the future.
Yeah.
Like
The storage of
when-
energy actually fats are the. Yeah, Vedant, any doubts?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
So like there are different fruits, right? So which come near the root or above the plant or below the plant, right? So why are they like? Can't they come totally under the ground or can't they totally come out, sir? Like not like a carrot kind of.
So when you take the plants, you have the two systems. One is the shoot system, which is growing above the soil. The other one is the root system, which is growing under the soil.
So like why they only grow like if we take an example of carrots, sir, why can't it grow outside the plant, sir? Why it always grows near the roots?
Okay, good. So if you take the carrot, actually it is not the root actually. It is a modified stem only. Okay.
Kind of example.
So carrot is a modified stem. It's not the root actually. So carrot, potato, beetroot, all these are the stem only actually. And these will grow under the soil because there will be more amount of nutrients and the minerals will be there under the soil, right? They will absorb from directly from the soil and they will grow in the under the soil itself. Clear?
Yeah, sir.
And
Then how do like can the all plants grow under why?
yeah, because each and every plant will have the different nature, right?
Yeah, sir.
So which are very like if you take example, like some plants will bear only the fruits, which will store the food in the only in the form of fruits. That's the nature of the plant, or that's the design of the plant. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Some plants you take only they will store the food in the form of flowers. They will not bear any fruits, like cauliflower. Okay, so it depends upon the plant to plant. It depends upon their species nature and all. That we'll study in the higher classes actually.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Next, Karthik. Sorry, Varshit.
Yes, sir, the sweets will be there, right, sir? So in them the energy will be stored in the form of starch or sugar.
In the form of starch only.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So if we add sugar to them also, normal sugar, the energy would be in starch only.
No, no, no. Actually, starch and breaking, it will form into the glucose again further.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Next. What about Rishita?
What, sir?
Rishita.
If she didn't.
Any doubts, Rishita?
Sir, Advika raised her hand.
Hmm?
Sir, Advika raised her hand, sir.
Yeah, Advaika.
Sir, but milk is more rich in protein.
Yeah, milk is more rich in proteins and fats. Mostly get the fats from the milk.
Okay.
Yeah. So next we'll go for the fats. So fats are obtained either from plants or the animal source. Okay. And the most common source of the fats are what? You can see the first picture, that is the plant source. The second picture, that is the animal source. First one is the plant source. What are the different plant source for obtaining the fats?
Soya bean, coconut,
Groundnuts,
Oils,
mustard,
oils.
oil, coconut oil,
dry fruits,
dry fruits.
Groundnuts, oils, different types of oils like
almonds,
sunflower oil,
almonds,
coconut oil, soya beans oil. Next, mustard oil. These
almonds, almonds,
almonds or different nuts will get the fats. Good. Then what are the animal source of fat?
beef,
So
pork,
Milk,
milk,
milk, ghee,
milk,
milk, butter, cream also,
carrots.
eggs,
sir,
meat.
even beef and pork, sir. Even beef and pork.
Sorry, Soumya.
Meat and fish are bodybuilding foods. So how it can be come?
But they're more rich in like we can say they're more rich in protein, right?
Sorry, I can't understand.
Like so they're talking about this
Boys. If two are speaking at the same time now, nobody will understand anything.
Meat and fish are bodybuilding foods. How they can come in
Yeah.
fats?
Meat and the fish or the will contain both. That is what I'm telling. If you take any particular food, it may contain more than two nutrients also. Like if you take meat, it will contain the fat as well as the proteins as well as the carbs. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So if you take any particular food, it may contain more than two nutrients also. Yeah. Now you itself tell me which food we have to eat. Food which contain only single nutrients or the food which contain multiple Very good, right?
Balanced diet. We should have a balanced diet.
Which are the food is contain multiple nutrients only. If you consume that one, you can get different types of nutrients, right?
So it is not like that. We should eat only vitamins and minerals. So fats and carbs are also important for the body.
Yeah. Good.
Sir, I sent some examples. We eat multiple. We should have a balanced diet. Sir, I sent some examples of fats in the chat box, which are obtained from animals.
Hmm. Clear? So these are the different
Yeah,
sources
sir.
of the fats from the plants and the animals. Fine. Then,
Yeah, sir.
so we can read the paragraph first. So fats are obtained either from plant or from animal source. Groundnut oil, soybean oil, and mustard oil are the examples of fats which are coming from the plant source. The butter and the ghee are obtained from the animal source. Any doubts in this paragraph?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Also, no.
No, sir.
Now, the fat as a fuel in our body. They provide more energy than the carbohydrates. Clear now? Compared to carbohydrates, fats will give the more amount of energy, almost double. So fats will give almost double the energy than the carbohydrates. Clear?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So our body has some advantage of fat deposit in small quantity. It helps body organ to grow and protect them from injury and prevent loss of heat from the body surface. Do you understand the statement of this?
Yeah, sir.
Sir, but for digesting the fat, we need to break it again to carbohydrates, right?
Fat into fatty acids it will break.
Sir.
Fats are breaking into the fatty acids. Then it will go break into simpler compounds again.
Yes, so we're having like acid in our near our stomach, which will break up the food.
Yeah,
Which will not digest.
we have the different digestive enzymes are there, right? Pepsin, trypsin.
Sir, like why our body only stores fat, sir? Why our body stores fat only?
Because whatever the food you are taking, some amount of the food is converting into the energy which is required for the body. The remaining food has to store in our body, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yes or no? Whenever it is required, when you are not taking the food from the outside, whatever the stored food are there in the body, it will be used at that time. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Because you are taking the too much amount of energy to our body. Only little amount of energy will be used in our body. The remaining has to store, right?
Yeah, sir.
That storage will be happen in the presence of fat, in the form of fat.
So if it is like if we take carbohydrate a lot, and the carbohydrates, some of them would be used, and
remaining carbohydrates are stored in the form of fats.
fats. Okay, sir.
Now, when we use that fat,
When we are like kind of,
when you are feeling sick, or when you are not taking the food during the fasting time and all, understanding at the time, whatever the fats are there in our body, convert into the carbohydrates, then it will break into the simpler to get the energy.
okay, sir.
Okay, now suppose you are eating the too much of food, what will happen? It will cause obesity, right?
Sir, I
Yeah,
have a
sir.
doubt. Sir,
It
I have
also,
a doubt.
yeah.
Sir, if we eat excess amount of carbohydrates, that can be converted into fats and stored in our body.
Yeah.
And sir, fats can be also converted to carbohydrates, right?
It will also convert to carbohydrates.
Okay,
When we are not taking the food from outside, it will convert.
and sir, if we take excess carbohydrates, then it will convert into fats.
It will convert into the fat. Too much of fat deposition also harmful to the health.
Yes, sir.
It will cause too much of body weight, and which will also cause a disease called as an obesity. So only the people will say, when you're taking the too much of fat foods, you have to do the regular exercises. So when you're doing the exercise, what will happen? Our body needs the
Sir,
energy.
our body will get weak and the fat will provide the energy and the fat will be gone.
Yeah, when you're doing the exercises, the energy will be consumed in our body. So whatever the fats are there, it will be converted into the energy. So can reduce the amount of fat in our body due to the exercise. Understanding?
Sir, why do we say that after eating we should not do exercise?
Immediately after doing the eating, if you do the exercise now,
Because the food will not be digested.
the food will not be digested. and it will cause some more health problems. So
Your
only,
food will be still in your
And you will
food
have a
pipe
stomach
only.
pain a lot.
but if you do the exercise before eating the food, it will be very healthy actually. Once we do the exercise, then give a break of 10 to 15 minutes, then you can take the food. So whatever
Sir,
the food you are taking, it will be consumed by your body, right? Because at that time our body requires the energy. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
I have
Yes,
a doubt.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, like, uh, if we don't eat any, like, why do they tell that we should do exercise like morning time, sir?
Yeah, can tell.
To be
Sir, why?
healthy.
Because it will be good for our health.
To be healthy.
And they say also that study in the morning because we can easily learn.
Like doing
Oh
exercise
my
in the morning. One more.
I asked sir, not you.
Yeah, it's okay, no problem. Good. Whatever the answers you are giving, it's correct. See, Vedant, your question is correct. When you're doing the exercise early in the morning, what is the meaning of exercise first? It helps in the good circulation of the blood to the different parts of the body, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Whenever the blood circulation is happening properly throughout our body, what will happen? There will be,
Healthy.
we can study healthy, right? The proper functioning of the brain will happen so that we can study good. Our body will be fit. Yes or no? So whatever the excess fat are stored in our body, it will be used up, right? It will be
Yeah,
converted into
sir.
the energy. Now during the exercise time, we require the energy. So energy will be consumed, extra fat will be dissolved in the body, and the good blood circulation has happened to the different parts of the body. Okay, so it will helpful in the growth of the body in the proper way. Yes, suppose if the people is doing the regular exercise, they always looks very fit, right? They always stays healthy. They will not suffer that much of disease and all. Yes or
Sir,
no?
like, sir, if they eat junk food and do exercise, are they going to be?
Yeah, when you're taking the junk food, it will have the more amount of fats actually. So too much of deposition of fats is also a problem for our body that we should not do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just wait a minute.
So
Yeah,
this normal biscuits has the fat, so much of fat.
yeah, just wait a minute. Who has joined with the name Hare Krishna? Fine. So the fats will go provide the more energy than the carbohydrates to our body. Okay. So too much of fat deposition in the body also very harmful to the health. It will cause the obesity. Then how we can test the fats containing the food? Just take a piece of paper, okay, and keep the food in that piece of paper and just fold it. What will happen?
Sir, it will crush, sir.
Yes, sir. If we fold samosa, sir, everything like the oily thing will shade will come on the paper.
Yeah,
Sir,
the
if we
will
keep
leave
rice,
some
sir,
greasy or the oily thing on the paper, right?
Yes, sir.
Or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There are some oily substance will be there on the paper, so we can see it easily.
Yeah, so you can test it easily. Good. Yeah, we will try first. So just wait a minute. So is it clear? Carbohydrates completely? Carbohydrates and
Yes,
fats?
sir. Yes, sir.